watching One Gotti Talking Sports.
Yo, before you watch the video, I just wanted to give a little intro. You guys are about to watch me and Pedro Schmith's full 7th round mock draft for the Washington football team. Make sure you guys get excited because it's a very good video. Draft is in a couple days, and make sure you guys do me a huge favor and like this video, subscribe if you're new, and also click that link in the description to go subscribe to Pedro Schmith's channel. A very good Washington football team YouTuber, and we worked hard to put together this mock draft. And don't forget, this Thursday I will be live streaming the full entire first round of this year's draft, so you guys are going to see my reaction to every pick. More importantly, our burgundy and gold Washington football team pick at 19. So make sure you guys enjoy this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that link in the description for me so you guys can go subscribe to Pedro Schmith's channel. Enjoy the video. Okay guys, so it's me and Pedro here, and as promised, like I said, I'm going to bring you guys our full 7th round mock draft, and here it go. We're here at 19, and honestly, this is very surprising, but Devonta Smith has fell to 19, and let's just be real, guys. I want to make this as realistic as possible, and we know Devonta Smith is not going to fall all the way to 19. I understand that his weight was a concern. It's still a concern that he's like 160, 170. He's very small, but let's just be real. He has the potential to be the best receiver in this draft, coming off a Heisman season. Although a lot of people think Jamar Chase is the best receiver in this draft, he has a ton of potential to be the best receiver in this draft, obviously. And unfortunately, as you guys see a little bit to your left, the Dolphins took Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, and that's the guy that I wanted to go with. So out of these guys, Pedro, honestly, we can take Devonta Smith if you want to, but I was trying to keep it a little more realistic, and I highly doubt he's here. So out of all these players right here, who do you think we should select?
So, I mean, Devonta Smith obviously would be amazing at 19. I mean, he's the best route runner in this class. Amazing, good hands, small, but I think that won't be, too big of a problem in the NFL. I think right here, I'm not really besides him, which, like you said, probably a little bit unrealistic. But if the Eagles don't take a wide receiver at 12 and the Giants don't as well, I think it's possible that he starts to slip a bit, or maybe him or Jalen Waddle. Right here with this board, I probably would either take Elijah Vera Tucker, who's a great offensive lineman. He can play tackle. If that doesn't work out, he can play guard really well for you. Really 4 different spots on the line, which is amazing. And I would consider trading back right here. I know we can't on right now, but I think that I would definitely consider trading back maybe to 25 or around that range, because there's probably a couple linebackers / tackles that you would like in that range. But I think Elijah Vera Tucker would be a good pick here.
Alrighty, guys. So after discussing a little bit over with Pedro and you guys, the board didn't fall how I thought it was going to fall. I thought at least Christian Darrisaw or Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was going to be here. I wanted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, as you guys know, I want a linebacker at 19, and Pedro wants Christian Darrisaw at 19. So I think the smart pick here, obviously, we would go Devonta Smith, but to keep it realistic as possible, I'm going to go Elijah Vera Tucker here because he is a realistic option. He can play a left tackle, and I believe he can play guard a little bit too. I really like him. He's a solid guy. Like I said, not my number one choice, but if we do go him at 19, I won't be mad, especially if Brandon Sheriff end up leaving. I understand his main position is left tackle, but say Brandon Sheriff end up leaving, we can have Sadiq Charles at left guard, hopefully, or Wes Schweitzer, and then have him at right guard. Or if we do decide to stick with Wes Schweitzer at right guard, we can put him there and then put Sadiq Charles at left guard, and then we can have him at left tackle. So it's so many things you can do with a guy like Elijah Vera Tucker. Like I said, not my number one choice, but according to the board, he's like the most realistic option up here. So what do you think about Elijah Vera Tucker in this pick?
I like Elijah Vera Tucker, 6'4", 21 years old, so still very young, still able to develop, can really play a bunch of different spots on the line. A lot of people project him as a guard, but think he could, they think he can play left tackle pretty well, but they think he can be an elite guard. We'll see. Would much rather have him start out at tackle. If that doesn't work, you can always switch him inside to guard and maybe even switch, we'll see what Sadiq Charles does, but I like him, brings versatility, which is what Ron really likes. And I like our offensive line coach, did a really good job last year. So I think he'll be able to develop Elijah Vera Tucker.
Okay, guys, so we're here at 51 now, and since we didn't take a linebacker in the first round, obviously because our first choice wasn't there, or my first choice wasn't there, I think Jabril Cox is the smarter pick. As you guys know, he transferred from NDSU to LSU, and he balled out, and Jabril Cox is a really good linebacker, and I really think he can thrive in this system under Jabril. Now, another option that's up here is Nick Bolton from Missouri, who led the SEC in tackles this year, and he would really be another solid pick, but I think Jabril Cox is the better pick in my opinion. What do you think about that, Pedro?
Yeah, I like Jabril Cox. I think we recently met with him, I think a week or so ago, had a good meeting there. He's about 6'3", 232 pounds, a really good coverage linebacker, which is what you need in the new NFL because more and more teams are passing more than they're running. So I think it's important to have a, good coverage linebacker. And Jabril Cox is one of the best coverage linebackers in this class. Him and Jeremiah Uso-Koromo. There's some things he needs to work on, but I think, he can develop, in the NFL to the next level, especially in the run game. I like Nick Bolton, but I think he's more of an old school linebacker, good in the run game. So I think Jabril Cox would be a really solid option here.
Okay, guys, so now we're here with our first third round pick, and tight end we know is a big need. Pedro wanted to go safety with the first pick, but me personally, I think tight end is a little bit more important than free safety in my opinion, only because you guys know I love DeShazer Everett, I love Jimmy Reeves, and I'm not saying these guys are going to be studs or anything, but if Ron Rivera said, hey, we're going with Cameron Curl and DeShazer Everett as our opening day starter, I would totally be fine with that. And I can't forget about Landon Collins, even though he's a strong safety, he's still up there and as in the DB and safety, talk. But like I said, if Ron Rivera said, hey, DeShazer Everett and Cam Curl is our day one starters, I would totally be fine with that because we know DeShazer Everett, he was balling out before he got hurt. Jeremy Reeves came in and played solid. So I really think free safety isn't as big as a need as a lot of people think. A lot of people want us to take a safety in the first round. I wouldn't be mad at it because like I said, although me personally, I don't think it's a terrible pick if we do, but I just don't think it's as big as a need as a lot of other people. So me personally, I'm leaning more towards Brevin Jordan because I feel like the guy is a stud. And like I said, I don't want to compare him to Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts is a generational talent. But if Kyle Pitts had to have a comparison to his counterparts in this draft, I think Brevin Jordan is the closest guy to Kyle Pitts. The guy is fast, has great hands, and like I said, he moves like a wide receiver. Would it be a matchup nightmare for a linebacker or a safety? So what do you think about Brevin Jordan or the safety that you wanted to take in this for this first third round pick?
I like Brevin Jordan, super athletic, and he's a little bit small for tight end, but I still think great route runner, solid blocker, and I think sitting behind Logan Thomas obviously he's still going to play, but he's going to learn behind Logan Thomas and he's going to be able to develop. I also like Tommy Tremble. He's the best blocking tight end in this class. He's not a great pass catcher yet, nowhere near what Brevin Jordan is, out of Miami. Brevin Jordan, way more production this past season, but I think part of that, they didn't ask Tommy Tremble to do much at Notre Dame in pass catching, but I do think Brevin Jordan right here in the third round would be solid value, and I think, would fill a position of need, especially since who knows if we're going to be able to re-sign Logan Thomas this next season.
Hey guys, so we're here at 82 with our third round pick. And me and Pedro were just talking about it. We're going to go safety here. And this is the perfect spot to take a safety, in my opinion. And we're going to go Jamar Johnson. It was some talk about Richie Grant or Jamar Johnson. But you guys know I'm a big Jamar Johnson fan. In my recent mock draft by myself, I picked him. And I believe I picked him in all of my mock drafts, actually, because he's always there. And honestly, before we even started the mock drafts, I knew a little bit about Jamar Johnson. But the big reason reason why I just kept why I looked him up in the first place, because he just kept popping up in my mock drafts. And the guy is a flat out stud. I grew to like Jamar Johnson a lot. Like I said, you guys know that. And I told Pedro, and I said this on his live stream the other day, him and Cameron Curl in the back end would be so phenomenal. The guy went to Indiana and he's a stud. Fits this defense a lot. And the big thing about him is he has the ability to adapt to any defense, man. Like I said, he can play cornerback, he can play safety, just like how Kendall Fuller can play safety even though he's a cornerback, and just how Cam Curl can play cornerback even though he's a safety like he did at Arkansas. Jamar Johnson has the same ability to do that, and that's what you guys know as far as Jabril defense and Chris Harris. You guys know that they want DBs. Just because you play safety doesn't mean you can't play corner. They want defensive backs. So I think Jamar Johnson is the smart pick right here, and this is what we're going to go with. What do you think about Jamar Johnson?
Yeah, I like Jamar Johnson. Like you said, very versatile, can play safety for you, but also can line up in that nickel position in the slot as a corner like him. And I think it would be a good fit, like you said, on our defense. And I think that it fills a position in need. I like Jeremy Reeves and DeShazier Everett. I'm fine if they go into the season with them as the main free safeties, but I do think it would be a good idea to try to look for an upgrade, whether it be in the 3rd round or whether it be like a 5th round high upside guy.
Okay, guys, so we're here with our 4th round selection, and we came together to talk about the cornerback position because me and Pedro believe that we need to take a cornerback here, but all the corners that we really know a lot about are not here right now. So I think the selection, and we both agreed on this, is Israel Mukamu out of South Carolina. I'm going to be flat out honest with you guys. I don't know that much about him. I know Rico drafted him in his recent mock draft, but all I do know is that he's a big cornerback, 6'4". I'm not sure if he's like really fast or whatnot, but I heard that he has solid speed for his size. He's going to obviously play outside. He's a rangy corner, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I love Kendall Fuller and whatnot, but I'd rather much see him play slot or safety, because slot is where he made his bread and butter at, and where he in fact made his money at, especially before leaving for Kansas City, when he actually played majority of safety in Kansas City. But slot is where he made his money at, and I'm not gonna be mad if we don't go corner in this draft and he continues to play outside, because he can play outside, but I would prefer for him to be in the slot or safety. We have Jimmy Moreland, we have obviously William Jackson that we just got here. We need depth bad, so if he even comes in here just to be a backup, I would totally be fine with it. So Israel Mukamu would be the selection here in the 4th round. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I like Israel Mukamu. Hard name to pronounce, but I like him. A little over 6'4". What I like about him, he's got a bunch of the traits that you want, and what you want good traits and you got to trust your coaches to develop them. And I think that's what we're doing right here. Really, really good potential. Just got to put it together. 7 interceptions in his collegiate career, so he can get those turnovers for you. Good traits, rangy, like Juan said, and we do need cornerback depth. We're gonna have Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, and Jimmy Moreland. But besides that, we don't have too much depth. There's some players that I do like that we have on the roster, but I think it would be a good idea to draft a cornerback at some point. Doesn't have to be super early, but a cornerback in the 4th, 5th, or later that can, give you depth in year 1 and year 2, but with some potential high upside later on.
Yeah, and I just saw, like I said, he went to South Carolina, and that's teammates with J.C. Horn. So I'm not sure if he, in fact, played a lot, and I'm pretty sure he didn't follow the best receiver, but I'm not really sure. Like I said, I don't know too much about him. I don't know if he was the cornerback number 2, 3, but I just want to point that out, that he was teammates with J.C. Horn. Alrighty, guys, so we're here in the 5th round, and after a long discussion on what we should go with, I think edge is the perfect option here, only because this board has not falling the way I thought it was going to fall. And I believe edge is a need, not because of the starters, obviously, because we know Chase Young and Montez Sweat are going to be the starters. But who do we have after that? Ryan Kerrigan's unlikely to come back. And then all we have is James Smith-Williams, who's okay, but he's not really nothing that much or as of right now. So I think Jonathan Cooper would be a solid option here. Why? Because he's okay. He's really solid, in my opinion, has the time to be an NFL edge rusher. But he went to Ohio State. They're known for making edge rushers. I mean, Chase Young, who we got, Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, to name a couple, and they all turned out to be studs in the NFL. So when in doubt, just how we did with Alabama players under the previous regime, if we want to go edge rusher in this year's draft, when in doubt, take Ohio State edge rusher. I think Jonathan Cooper is the perfect option here, and I only say that because, like I said, this board hasn't fallen the way I thought it was going to fall. So I think in a perfect board, this would be a reach a little bit, but since there's not really that many good players left in the 5th round, I think Jonathan Cooper is the best option here. What do you think about Jonathan Cooper?
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit too early, like you said, for Jonathan Cooper. He's probably going to be like a 6th round guy, but I think that, he's got good chemistry, obviously, with Chase Young, and we do need some help, with depth at the edge rusher position. And, he would do just that. And I think whenever you can get someone that's going to be good for the culture, because him and Chase are probably pretty close, I think it would be a good pick. He's a little bit small, but I think that he can put some weight on. I think he's like 6'3", 250 pounds, but he can put some weight on. And I think we'll see what happens with Kerrigan, if we re-sign him after the draft. But if we don't, we definitely need to draft a guy regardless in the 5th or 7th round.
Okay, guys, so we're here with our final 2 picks of this year's draft, and we're going to take a wide receiver here because we didn't really take a receiver, obviously, in this year's draft. According to this mock draft, like I said, we had a chance to take Devonta Smith, but it wouldn't have been realistic, and this mock draft didn't fall the way I thought it was going to fall, which is no shame because, obviously, I still think that our mock draft was solid and really good, and I would not be mad about this mock draft. But like I said, I think we still should get a receiver just to have depth. But at the same time, if we don't get a receiver, I'm not mad. We just got Curtis Samuel. We have Terry McLaurin. We have Kevin Harmon coming back. What is AGG gonna do? What is Cam Sims gonna be coming off of a solid year last year, his best year of his career? We have enough receivers here, and I'm not sure if Ron is gonna go out and get another young guy to add to the young guy bunch. But I think Demetric Felton would be a solid pickup in the later rounds. What do you think about Demetric Felton, since you know a lot about him since watching him from the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, I like Demetric Felton. I don't think he's going to be here in the 7th. We'll see, though. And he's kind of the opposite of Antonio Gibson. He played running back in college at UCLA, and a lot of teams think he's going to be best suited for a wide receiver, best suited to play wide receiver at the NFL level. So he has skill sets as a runner coming out of the backfield and also as a pass catcher, which I like, very versatile, can help you in the screen game and also can help you out in that kick return game, which he did at UCLA, and maybe even as a punt returner as well. So I think this is in the 7th and 5th, 6th, 7th round, you're not necessarily drafting for need. You're trying to get these first depth if you can, but also trying to get these high upside guys that turn into good quality starters for you.
Okay, guys, so we're here with our final draft of me and Pedro's mock draft here, and we're deciding to go with the running back. Not too many players left on the board that I know, so I'm just going to take the best running back available. I personally don't think we need a running back, but if we do get one, I would be totally fine with it. But at the same time, I think we should just run it back with AG, with JD McKissic, with Peyton Barber. So I'm going to take Chris Evans here to close out the draft. Hey guys, so we're at the end of me and Pedro's mock draft. What do you guys think about this draft down below? Rate it down below about what me and Pedro did. In the first round, we took Elijah Vera-Tucker. Then we took Jabril Cox, linebacker. Then we took Brevin Jordan, tight end. Jamar Johnson, safety. Israel Mamuka, cornerback. Then Jonathan Cooper. Then Demetric Felton. Then Chris Evans to close out the draft. Like I said, this board did not fall the way I thought it was going to fall. You guys know, obviously, I would take a linebacker in the first round, but Jabril Cox is really good, and he does have potential to be a first round linebacker, but I don't think he's going to be that, obviously. I rate this mock draft maybe an 8 out of 10. A few changes that I would make. I would probably draft a receiver higher, but like I said, I personally don't think receiver is as big as a need anymore, but I do think it's a bigger need than safety. So if the board would have fell how I thought it was going to fall, I would have probably took a receiver in the third round over Jamar Johnson, and hopefully he would have fell into the fourth round, which I highly doubt. But what do you think about this mock draft and what we did, Pedro? I think we worked together to make a solid mock draft. I give it an 8 out of 10. What do you give this mock draft?
Yeah, I like the mock draft a lot. Like you said, it didn't fall necessarily how we thought it would, but it really never does. And I think we, filled a bunch of positions that we needed to fill. I mean, we got a guy on the offensive line that can play left tackle for us right away. But also, if Brandon Sheriff leaves us this year, and Elijah Vera Tucker's better at the guard position, he can fill in right there and play at a high level. Jabril Cox, another position in need at your, coverage linebacker. We got some depth at the tight end position that could potentially be a star in the NFL. Got a free safety for us, more cornerback depth, edge rusher depth, and some, high upside guys in the later rounds. So I like this draft, this mock draft, probably like you, 8 out of 10, maybe like a B+, A- grade. I like the draft a lot.
Alrighty, guys, so we're at the end of this video, me and Pedro's mock draft. But before we go, I wanted to ask Pedro, who does he think we're going to truly take at 19? Me personally, as much as I want a linebacker, I really hope we go JOK or even someone else that's a really good linebacker. I just hope it's a linebacker at 19. But I personally think Ron Rivera and the gang is going to go with Christian Darrisaw at left tackle if he's there. Even if he isn't there, I think we're going to select a left tackle. And like I said, I wouldn't be mad at it, but that's not my first choice. I want to go linebacker. But Pedro, what do you think we're truly going to do at 19? Let me and the people know.
All right, so I think if Darrisaw's there, which I don't think he's going to be there, but if he's there, I think 100%, unless another, big time prospect is there that they didn't think was going to be there, I think Darrisaw will be the pick. Obviously, if any of the top 3 wide receivers fall to 19, that also would be the pick. And same thing with Parsons. But assuming those guys aren't there, which Darrisaw could be, but I don't think so, I think it probably will be a linebacker. Whether it's Jeremiah Uso-Cormo, who I think will be there, I think that would be a great pick. Could be Elijah Vera Tucker, but also could be a trade back situation where maybe they trade back a few spots to like 24 or wherever, and like they have a few players they like at 24 so that they can get some assets for next year and even this year, and still get someone like Jamin Davis or maybe Tevin Jenkins out of OSU there. So I think those are definite options, at least for me.
Alrighty, guys, there you have it. Me and Pedro's mock draft that we done together. We worked hard to come up with this mock draft. Let me know what you guys think about this video down below. As always, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Make sure you go subscribe to Pedro Schmith's channel. Working hard over there. We'll have a ton of draft coverage, and as you guys know, I will be streaming this year's draft next week, as I did last year. I streamed the whole entire first round. I'm going to do that again this year, so make sure you guys tune into my live stream to get my live reaction to every single pick, but more importantly 19. So make sure you guys subscribe to Pedro Schmith's channel. As always, it's been your boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hell to the Washington football team.
Peace.
I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you drop.